Hi, welcome back to We Ride Motos. I'm Glenn.
And I'm Carrie.
In this episode, we are exploring Venice.
Yes, we're going to Venice. So excited.
Yeah, there's lots to do there, so we're going to dedicate the whole episode.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no motorcycles in Venice, so I don't even know if I have a picture of one, except Pepe where we left him. That poor Pepe.
Yeah, we ditched him in a parking
We
lot.
felt a little bad.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. It's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
When we arrived in Venice, we had booked, or Carrie had booked us an Airbnb in Venice.
Like the old city.
Yeah, so we drove out and rode the motorcycle down the causeway. Now you can't take vehicles into Venice because no vehicles. So we had to park Pepe. We found a free motorcycle parking lot outside of town. And it was the first time it was kind of sketchy because we just drove him in there and covered him up and walked away.
There was a lot of other motorcycles there, and we had heard that if you didn't get there early that you might not even find a spot, especially on weekends.
Yeah, I'd say weekends. We didn't have experience, but when we got there, there was lots of room.
Yeah, we got there fairly early.
And we left them there for the whole week, and
Yeah.
or whatever, how many days we were there.
2 or 3 nights, I
Yeah,
think.
worked out good.
So we just had to pack all our stuff in and find our way into where we were staying. Venice, I think it's a real love it or hate it kind of city. Some people just don't really care for it, but we actually really enjoyed it. It's the one nice thing about Venice is that there's a lot of cities in Europe that have designated their old town with no vehicles, but there actually is vehicles. Like
they're
the
always
locals can come in, or the scooters can come in, the motorcycles can
pedal
come
bikes,
in, pedal
everything.
bikes.
In Venice, nada.
Yeah, so we really like that. They've got bridges connecting all I think there's 118 different islands, and they're all connected with little bridges, so there's no way to get bikes or motorcycles or anything. St. Mark's, they had the huge cathedral there, which was we had heard it was like a kind of a pillaged one. They would steal things from other places and bring them here and put them up. So all the different columns, if you look closely at them, are all different. Like they're all different tops, they're all different colors. And yeah, so that was interesting though. We toured that. We'll put some pictures in of it.
One of the neat things that I enjoyed was the glass art work. Now, this is one of those cases. I mean, yes, we could have bought stuff and shipped it home. We are on the motorcycle, so we have to be somewhat, I don't know what the right word, cheap, I guess is the best word.
Yeah.
But we have nowhere to put things on the bike, so I think I bought a little tiny owl.
Well, you'd seen it when we were, because they have absolutely beautiful artists, shops full of crafts and stuff, and Glenn had seen this little glass owl that he liked, and we didn't pick it up at that time.
It's kind of like Costco. If you see it, you
Yeah.
better buy it, because they're literally almost one of a kind, because they're all made that way.
They are, and there's many different alleys and stuff where you see
stores.
these things, so then trying to find it again. So anyways, we did
We tracked it down.
find it, and we bought your little owl. I'll get a picture of it and put it in. They have one of the islands, we didn't go to it, but you can take tours off to a couple of the islands that are further off that aren't connected by bridges, and one of them, they do the glass works there.
The gondoliers, that's, I mean, another one of the things Venice is famous for. Apparently, it's typically been a man's trade forever.
It passes from father to son. I guess it's quite prestigious. So
Yeah,
the
and-
son takes over from the.
And in 2010 was the first time it passed from a father to daughter.
Yeah. The
So-
daughter actually took it up. So there's one lady gondolier.
So good for her.
I'm not sure what they call them, maybe
Gondolier?
different name for.
Gondoless?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So there's, I guess the women have broken into that profession. Back in the old days, well, Venice was very rich. It was a center of banking, it was a center of shipping and commerce, and there was a lot of very wealthy people that lived there, so they built huge, not palaces, but mansions, I guess,
Yeah.
through there, and they used to make masks. But Venice was not quite as maybe religious as some places. They took a little more
Vegas-like?
maybe a little bit. So, but one of the things was these masks. So they would make these masks, and the rich people, they would take to wearing these masks, so people wouldn't necessarily know who they were when they were having, going out to have a fun time. I guess the church got a little upset at this at one point because they were wearing them all through the year, even in the streets and stuff, so they imposed restrictions on when you could wear your masks.
Maybe the banking department didn't like people coming in wearing masks.
Maybe. A lot of the shops still, they make these beautiful masks for sale. It was absolutely gorgeous. The Doge's palace was there, and I toured that. The Doge was like the elected official that would kind of be in charge of the city. And they had their apartments there, the government was run out of there, they had the courtrooms there, and they also had the prison in that same, on the ground floor of this. And then it had many fires. I think sometimes the disgruntled people, if they didn't like the Doge, they burnt it, and they had lots of fires and rebuilds. And one of the rebuilds, they decided to put new prison on the other side of the canal, and then they connected it with this bridge. They call it the Bridge of Sighs, I believe, because when you're going over it, we toured through, there was a few little holes you could look through to look your last kind of look as you're going to your prison cell to see your lovely Venice. They said they wanted to build a new prison to make the conditions better for the prisoners. It was supposed to be brighter, and I don't know, it didn't really look overly...
That doesn't sound very medieval at all.
No, I know. I thought, wow, those prisoners in Venice maybe got lucky.
Yeah.
They used to display, and we went through one of the museums where they had on display all the military, the swords and the armor and everything, and they used to keep that on display when people would come to visit, just I think a sign of intimidation. They actually had shipbuilding, it was kind of the first factory kind of idea, and they could actually build a warship in a day. And I guess they invited the King of France the one time, and of course they have to show him how they can build the warship in one day just to, you know, hey, don't mess with us. kind
Yeah,
of
probably
thing.
intimidation.
Yeah. Really nice to walk around at night with when all the lights would come on and
When the tourists left.
tourists were gone and just the lights reflecting off the water and and it felt very safe. Some neat things on that list obscura. The one place that we went to was their bookstore.
Oh, yes.
Through all the back alleys trying to find it, but they had so many floods that they started putting their books actually in boats. So when the flood would come up, it would just float.
Boat would just float up.
Yeah.
The books stayed dry, the water left,
Yeah.
and they're still in.
They would go back down. They're
Yeah,
still in.
still that way.
Still, and then in the back, they have stacked them all up. The ones that kind of got wrecked with the water, and you can climb on them. It was kind of interesting. We really loved Venice. It was a nice break from, like we said, the cars and the scooters and
we went back to get Pepe all by himself in the parking lot. He was still there, and no harm, no foul, and off we went.
That's right. So it was a great visit, and for us, I definitely would recommend it.
Where are we headed next?
We are headed up into the edge of the Dolomites, I believe.
So, we'll see you there.
Yeah.